Are.
Our guests today are IBMA award winners, Grammy nominees. Our guests today are Gena Britt and Deanie Richardson of Sister Sadie. We are so excited about having them on the show. We're going to be discussing their origins. We're going to be discussing their current album, No Fear, and of course, their involvement in Bourbon and Beyond. And we love some Bourbon and Beyond. Great event. They do such an amazing job there every year. Top-notch lineup. Gena, September 29th, Louisville, Kentucky. Why are you excited about Bourbon and Beyond?
Well, like you just said, it'll be our first time there. We haven't really played in that area very much, so I'm looking forward to bringing the band up there and getting to see everybody there, and to be included in such a great lineup is just an honor for us.
Deanie, how great does it feel to be a part of such an amazing weekend of music?
Well, I'm just floored. We looked at the lineup, and all of us are pretty excited about everyone that plays after us that day. So we're going to hang around and go hear. One of my all-time musical heroes is Sting. So I'm pretty pumped about some Sting and Beck. I love Beck as well. So uh, I'm just excited to be on the same weekend lineup, and that's September 19th. Um, Same weekend lineup as these guys. It's just pretty amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, people showing up late, they're like, what the heck? Where's everybody? But you're right. Yeah, it is the 19th because it's the 19th through the 22nd. And yeah, you all have the best day. I mean, shoot, like you said, you got Sting, you got Beck, you got, oh gosh, Matchbox 20, Loud Love It, the Wallflowers. I mean, it just doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Heck
Never
yeah.
did I think I would be on the same festival lineup as those guys. So pretty bucket list right there.
So, Deanie, how did you learn to play the fiddle?
I grew up in a musical family. My grandfathers both played. My dad played. I was 9 years old, and Santa brought me a fiddle for Christmas. And I just recently found some pictures, archiving some pictures of that Christmas when I got the fiddle, and pretty much started playing with my grandfathers right away. And I remember my granddad, he called me Krauthead because of my blonde hair. Always called me Krauthead, and he would just throw me into the fire pit in his little jams, play it Krauthead, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I claim to this day that's how I learned to play, just him throwing me into the fire pit there.
Awesome. How much fun was it playing with legends like Bob Seger, the Chieftains, Vince Gill, and Petty Lovelace?
It's been the highlight of my career until this band. That I don't know. I'm very blessed and honored to say that I've worked with some of the best and never had to sell out just to make money. I've only worked with people that I truly am fans of and truly are in my playlist. Those folks are all incredible singers and players, and to get to be a fiddle player who just plays fiddle tunes with the Chieftains all night and then go drink beer. I mean, that's what else? What else would you want?
Exactly. Sounds like amazing fun.
Yeah,
So, Gena, how did you learn to play the fiddle?
banjo.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so it's funny. I was listening to Deanie. Our our paths are very, very similar, and I even found out something that she just said that I didn't know. It's funny how you learn things about people that you've been worked with for so many years together, and you still find out new things about them that kind of align your paths. But when I was a little girl, my grandfather was a square dance caller, so that's where I learned about string music. And I had red hair when I was a little girl. He called me Pumpkinhead. So we got
Oh
Krauthead
wow!
and Pumpkinhead. So I didn't know her grandfather called her Krauthead.
I
And that's
see a
where
new
that came.
T-shirt coming, Jiva.
Exactly. That does sound like a funny shirt.
So he called me Pumpkinhead. But I was introduced to string music through my grandfather and dancing and stuff. And then my dad, I asked Santa, again, another similarity. I asked Santa for a banjo when I was 7 years old. Didn't get it for Christmas, but got it for my 8th birthday. And then my dad took me to a guy, and his name was Charles Singleton, and he would show me things on the banjo, and I would learn by ear. I would watch him, and then he would put it down on cassette tape. So I'm dating myself a little bit. But he would put it down on cassette tape. I would take it back home and I would practice it. And that's kind of how I started out learning how to play the banjo. And then eventually, after I went through that, then I started listening to the older records with the Osborne Brothers and Flatt and Scruggs and Bill Monroe and all that. And so that's kind of how I got started.
Awesome. I mean, it's so neat that you all have such similarities and it all worked out to bring you all together.
Yeah.
Another neat thing, obviously, Deanie had some really great people that she had worked with. Also, you had some great folks that you worked with, the Daughters of Bluegrass, New Vintage, Petticoat Junction, which I thought was like a TV show or a piece of a
It
TV.
was.
Okay, cool. That's the reason why it sounded so familiar. I was like, why does that sound so darn
That's
familiar?
actually where we came up with the name from. We kind of borrowed it from that old TV show.
Oh, cool. Was it like
Yeah.
Green Acres or something?
Yeah, it was kind of like that, the TV show.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And now, of course, with all that, how did that prepare you to be a part of your supergroup that you're currently in?
Well, I think just the experience, and I think Deanie will attest to that, just the experience of being out on the road with different bands and learning what you do and what you don't do, and learning the business ins and outs. And, that's Deanie and I treat this band like a business. We've been doing it. It's coming up on 13 years and later this year. And it's amazing that we've been doing it this long together, and like I said, we treat it like a business. I think just being on the road with all those different people and those different personalities, and how you have to adjust yourself to continue on, and with all the changes that happen, you have to kind of be resilient.
I mean, it's just amazing how one night in December 2012 can change your lives forever.
Yeah.
It certainly did.
So, why did you choose to your trademark three-part harmony, Gena?
That was pretty organic. When we first got together with the original band, which the original band was Dale Ann Bradley, Tina Adair, and Deanie and myself and Beth Lawrence, and at the station in that night when we hit the first note, and the harmonies that were sang together, that those are powerhouse singers. And I think just the fact that it kind of centered around the 3-part harmonies with this group was very organic, and it's continued through um, everyone that we've brought in, and it's evolved and changed. And but it started out that way, just very organic. Great singers, great songs, bringing it together.
So, Deanie, I know everyone's excited about Bourbon and Beyond, but I always wondered what would Moonshine say if it could talk?
Uh, well, we wrote that song, If Moonshine Could Talk, and it's called Unholy Water. I wrote that with Bill Tennyson. And, there's been a lot of songs written about moonshine and bluegrass. And we were sitting around one day and I just thought, what if we write a song from the perspective of the moonshine? It's telling the listener what it can do to you, or what it can bring to you, or how it can harm you, or all the things that liquor in general can do to your life. So yeah, we wrote that um, for the band, actually.
And then Gena,
Mhm.
shoot, my son loves your song 900 Miles with the fiddle at the trains. It's just such a neat song. Is it as much fun to play as I would think it would be?
Well, funny story. Deanie arranged that song, and it has fiddle. She plays the fiddle. It only has fiddle on it.
Oh, I keep getting, dang it.
No,
So
it's
it's
fine. It's fine.
so
Let
it's
Gina tell
fiddle.
it. It
It's
works. It
fiddle.
works if she tells it. That's fine.
It's she arranged it. It only has fiddle. So it has fiddle and the 3-part harmonies, but it's very haunting and very effective with the vocals as they come in. And I'll kind of let her tell the rest of it, but yeah. So she arranged it and only has fiddle on it.
Which is fitting. You know, when we heard this song, it's an Odetta song, and I just wanted to change it up kind of drastically and have something on the record. That was our first record, wasn't it, Gina?
Yeah.
That was just
No,
more second record, yeah,
second
second.
record. Yeah.
Something on the record that was just more vocal focused and on maybe a little mountainy Appalachian sounding. So working all those years with Patty Loveless, it was just natural for me to hear this song with just fiddle and some really organic singing. So um, that's kind of why we went that way with it.
Well, Gina, how
Mhm.
about um, telling us about the first company you worked with, Pine Castle Records, and how you worked with them for Sister Sadie and Sister Sadie 2. Tell us about the support you received when you were getting started.
Well, I think it takes a village to create something and make it work. So we're grateful to everybody that was involved in the early days of our career and getting this band started. I think that's very important. Like I said, it takes a village. There's so many people that it takes, from the record labels to the promoters that hire us and the songwriters and but we're very grateful to Pine Castle and everybody that helped us in the beginning.
Deanie, is Diane really a rebuttal to Dolly Parton's Jolene?
That's what the writer says when she, that's been quoted from Cam, who wrote the song. I've not spoken to Cam about that, but that is a quote I saw about the song. Yeah.
So, for both of y'all, how great is it to not have to stick with one genre, but to have the freedom to use multiple genres to express yourself?
I think this band has organically grown into what it is today, and the band grows kind of on its own. Um,
And a good song is a good song. We're letting our music evolve on its own. So let's go wherever it takes us.
yeah, and you know, we go in the studio. I, I don't go in the studio with a mission. I go in the studio with great players, great singers, and we just let the song evolve as it evolves. We've been cutting a new record. There are some straight up country things on this record. There are bluegrass hard driving things on this record. You know, for me, this is a talented group of women, and everybody brings something to the table, and we need to let all those things be heard in every song. But at the end of the day, in every set you hear Sister Sadie, you're going to hear a hard driving bluegrass instrumental, banjo featured, you know, hard driving bluegrass. No matter where we go, that's wow, that's making me a little emotional to say that. No matter where we go, that's our roots and that's our passion and our first love is bluegrass music. So that's always going to shine through, whether we're playing a Led Zeppelin tune or we're playing a Bill Monroe tune.
Awesome. So it's fair to say every time a new member joins Sister Sadie, it changes the vibe, it changes the feel, and it changes the vocals. So it truly does change everything each time your band evolves.
That's a really hard thing, James. And Gina and I have struggled through the years, especially in the last 5 years, I'd say. You know, we lost Delanne, which was a massive loss vocally. I mean, it doesn't get much better than Delanne Bradley. And, you know, we decided to proceed forward, brought Jaylee Roberts in, which was a great call. But that, like, Gina can vouch more on the vocals. It just changes vocals tremendously, but it also changes the energy of the band every time you have a personnel change. And then Tina went away, and we brought in Danny, and now we've got this mixture of what I think is the best Sister Sadie ever. Gina and I, the OGs of the band. The young people taught us what that means. There, Ernest or James. Um, but with each band change comes personality changes, comes energy changes, comes, you know, challenges musically. what can each person bring and where can we shine, where can we really hit each other's strong points to rebrand this thing, because you have to rebrand it every single time someone comes in and changes everything. And I feel like now we're finally a unit of 6 women, all different ages, all different musical taste, all different musical levels, and it's really a great mixture. I'd say we've poured in all the right ingredients now, and everything mixed up is, and that makes me very emotional too. Everything mixed up is just really, really beautiful right now, really perfect. And I just love where this band is right now, and how Tina and Beth and Delanne were massive, massive parts of that beginning ingredients and mixture that got us to a certain place, but that has opened up to a whole nother level of just
And the
possibilities.
songwriters that we have in the band now, like everybody in the band, of course, we added Maddie Dalton on bass and Brandy Miyaka on mandolin. But our, the original songs and songwriting is just creatively makes us passionate about the music. When you have a good song, you want to perform it to the best of your ability. And I think the more original you are, the more compelling you are to the fans out there. Um, and we're
Yeah,
happy
so
Oh,
true.
right now.
definitely. Yeah, the fans are happy. They love your new album, No Fear, um, from the Mountain Home Music Company. Where does the title No Fear come from?
Well, I think for Gina and myself, when we lost Delanne, then we lost Tina, and then we lost Mary Meyer, who was playing mandolin. There was just a lot of change right there at one massive point, and we were just looking at each other. Do we keep going? Do we call it? Have we put in enough time here? Is
Do
this
we
thing?
take a leap of faith?
Yeah. And there's a line in one of the songs on the No Fear record that simply says "No Fear," and I heard that line listening down to the mixes, and I thought, that's it, because we're going to move forward, even though we're not certain. Let's have no fear and just plow forward and put this record out and see what happens. And I'm glad we did. It's been a huge success. And yeah, so it's kind of just where we were. Our music, if you listen to it, is kind of where we are at the moment, personally, band wise, business wise, everything. It's just a branch of who we are.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure having the two of you on the show talking about Sister Sadie. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web can our listeners find out more about you?
We're on Facebook, Instagram is Sister Sadie Music. We're on TikTok. We have a YouTube channel that we're doing a lot of covers and some of our other music that you can find on there that we're doing live videos of. Please follow our Instagram. Our young girls are really killing it out there. They're finding all the content that they can find and making us old girls learn new stuff to do. And we're thankful for them and everything that they do. Everybody contributes something here in the band, and we're thankful for that. We have a website. I'll let Deanie tell you about that, but it's sistersadieband.com. She can finish up on that part.
Well, that band part's really important there, James. If you forget the band part, that's going to take you to a not so pleasant website. So you have to be 18 years or older to get into that website. So sistersadieband.com. Don't forget.
Sounds great. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us, and it's been a pleasure having y'all on.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.